Welcome back to another exciting edition of Fire Emblem Heroes. I'm your host and resident femophiliac, Mr. Phil, PhD. Today we'll be rating the legends you chose earlier this year and see exactly how they fare in the current thigh meta. Will they have a leg to stand on, or will the meta remain unchanged? As always, we'll be ranking based on 3 criteria: thickness, exposure, and aesthetics, all culminating in a single tier rating. Without further ado, let's begin. First up, we have Brave Celica. Celica boasts an excellent thigh-to-leg and leg-to-body ratio of 0.54 and 0.62 respectively. The wool on her hemline is an exceptional touch and complements her shorts nicely. Where Celica falls flat, however, is in her injured artwork. Not only is she showing less thigh than in her other poses, but also her thighs are angled away from the viewer. Contrast this with Caring Princess Celica's injured art, which puts her shiny, shimmering thighs front and center. This lack of sheen and exposure means Celica falls just shy of her other incarnations, but still lands solidly in S tier. Next up is Brave Ephraim, and honestly, he's a bit of a letdown. His billowy battle skirt hides any semblance of thighs. If it were not for his native skill Armor March, which requires legs to use, I would question whether or not he had legs to begin with. We finally get a peek under Ephraim's dress in his injured art, but unfortunately is just too little, too late. Overall, Ephraim barely makes the cutoff for B tier, his battle skirt being his biggest hindrance. Next up, we have Brave Hector. I'm legally required to disclose that Hector is my absolute favorite Fire Emblem character, but that will in no way have any bearing on his rating. We get a peek at his vastus medialis, or teardrop muscle, through a cut in his pants. It's well developed, and thus we can infer that the rest of his legs are equally jacked. One would think that dropping our mods for Maltete would hurt Hector's leg size, as our mods is considerably heavier and would require strong legs and core to wield. However, every time Hector thrusts an enemy with Maltete, he uses a lunging motion, which works the thighs considerably. Overall, Hector places an A+ tier. Before we get to our final hero, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Analyze These Thighs. Guess whom the thighs belong to before time runs out. You ready? Let's begin. This hero has the thickest thighs in Fire Emblem Heroes, possibly even the entire franchise. If you have a pet bird or similarly feathered companion, keep your distance. This hero was first featured in a Grand Hero battle in January of 2018. It's Oliver! Oliver! And last but certainly not least, we have Brave Veronica. This princess of Emblem. Hang on. How old is she? The Brave heroes did not nearly shake up the meta as much as was anticipated. Red and blue heroes remain dominant players, while green heroes are quite scarce in the higher tiers. I believe the next iteration of power creep will occur when IS releases some new winter armors, but until then, the thigh meta should remain steady. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more videos to come your way. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep your eyes on the thighs.